Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, County Council and the viewing public. Welcome to our October 22nd, October, sorry, 2020. There's too many twos in there. October 22, 2020. And there's no snow in the forecast today, so everybody's good. Just before we get into the roll call, I want to take the opportunity. Our next council meeting, county council meeting, is until November 12th, which is the day after Remembrance Day. So I was wanting to take a moment, everyone to take a moment of silence and remembrance of those who were able to support our freedom here in the country of Canada. So at this time, I'd like to take a moment of silence and remembrance of those people. Thank you. I'm sure everybody will be partaking in some way of remembering service when it comes on November 11th in your own municipalities. At this time, Madam Clerk, can you do the roll call, please?
Certainly, Mr. Warden. We have all members here except Councillor Burley and Councillor Klumpus. We have Councillor Thompson, joining us in Councillor Burley's replacement.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. And from that, we do have published an agenda that was circulated. Is there any declaration of peculiar interest with the county councilors today? All right, if one does arise, you can raise it at that time and do the proper paperwork. Moving on then to adoption of the minutes of October 8th, 2020. It's moved by Councillor Keaveney and Councillor Potter. Are there any errors or omissions in those sets of minutes? Okay, hearing none. Anybody opposed to carrying those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes are carried. Okay, for the minutes, for the closed session minutes of October 8th, I have it moved by Councillor Woodbury and Councillor Mackey for their adoption. Are there, I guess I can't really say any errors or omissions on those, but if you do wish to have to go in camera with those, you have to make that indication. But anybody opposed to those minutes? Okay, those are carried as well. There is no closed meeting matters today. There's no reports, there's no bylaws. We'll move right into good news and celebrations. And we'll start off, if we can keep everybody moving along, that would be great. I'm gonna start off with the reversal of the normal list, and I'm gonna start off with West Grade. Good morning, Christine.
Well, good morning, Warden, and good morning, members of County Council. 2 points, if I might. Warden McQueen attended at our West Grade Council meeting on October 20th. He provided an update on Grey County initiatives, and it was well received, and thank you, Warden, for your attendance. Also, the Boots and Bling virtual event, which is a fundraiser for our Durham District Hospital, raised over $77,000. So well done to that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thank you for those comments, and certainly anybody else that wishes to have me out to their meeting, certainly make that request, and we'll make it happen. I don't know if there's anything from Councillor Hutchison or not.
Morning, thank you, Mr. Warden, and morning all council. I don't have anything to add to that. And again, thank you for attending our council meeting. I think that was well received by all council and the general public. Thank you.
Much enjoyed it. Thank you very much for that. Moving on then to the town of Blue Mountains, Mayor Alar, Councillor Soever.
There you go. I'm unmuted now. Okay. Yes, everything continues to move along forward well here. Preparations are well underway for a virtual Remembrance Day with the cooperation of our library and the Legion. They're going to be putting together a virtual thing that will be live streaming, and everything else is going well. Our arena is opening soon in stages, and the town hall is continuing to function. And I guess the best news is that the small cluster of cases that we had a couple of weeks ago appears to be over, and it's contained, and we continue to move forward.
Great. That's great news, Mayor Sweber. And Councillor Potter, do you have anything to add? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yes, a cartoon from the Dundalk Herald yesterday, which is by an old friend from my newspaper days named Jeff Wilson, which I will send out later on, but he says about the only thing I'm sure about is that I'm happy to be living in Grey County, and in the background is a map of Ontario with the words concentration of COVID-19 cases. So it's a congratulatory comment on the way that our health unit and I think our councils across Grey and Bruce have handled this pandemic. The other thing that I'd like to mention is that the Craigleith Depot, Craigleith Heritage Depot Museum will be reopening today by appointment. So you have to call ahead, but we're happy to see that. Not only did the pandemic strike, but before that, there was some issues with radon. So those have all been repaired. Everything's good, and they're open, and the exhibits are ready to go again.
It's fantastic, and I'm sure there's lots of apples between Meaford and Blue Mountains, right?
They're coming.
I heard there's a bumper crop this year, so that's great.
Well, it's always a bumper crop.
Okay. All right. Well, moving along. Southgate and Councillor Woodbury, and what's happening in the sunny south.
Oh, too much to mention. But the few things I will, not necessarily good news. The Holstein non-motorized Christmas parade will not be happening this year, which is very understandable, but a real shame. They do a fantastic job. But they are doing a Remembrance Day modified at the Cenotaph in Holstein on the 8th. As well, the Dundalk one is going to be very modified and likely just a small thing at the Cenotaph. So people are getting out and adjusting to that. We've just got so much business going on. It's tough to keep up with. Everything from new drugstore being going to be built, going through the final hurdles, to all the houses running out of industrial land. It's been a really busy time for us. So that's kind of most of what's going on. But anything I didn't mention, if I missed anything, I'm sure Brian knows and he'll say it. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you, Councillor Woodbury. And it's the only time I've ever experienced a traffic jam in Holstein was last year at the parade. And Councillor Millen.
I think Mayor Woodbury covered it very well, other than to say that we're living the dream down here.
Well, congratulations to you both.
Sorry, Sue, I stole your line.
Well, congratulations to you both with the great news down there. Okay, moving on then, we have Owen Sound, Mayor Body.
Yeah, Halloween's ago. That's like, I'm already starting to get dressed up for it, as you can see. There's some great tips on the health unit's website for families and for trick-or-treaters and people at the door that we can all look at and share with our residents if you're doing Halloween. The 10th Street Bridge is getting close to being done. Still got live music going on for another week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday down at the market. And I don't know, that's probably it. Unless Brian's got anything to add. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Mayor Body. Councillor O'Leary, anything to add?
Good morning, County Council. Nothing to add, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. And then moving on, then we'll go to Meaford. And so Mayor Klumpus is here. So Councillor Keaveney, do you have some good news?
I do, Mr. Warden. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. And for us, our library is in the stage now of moving the books into the new facility, and we're really excited about that. Council will have a tour on Saturday, and the targeted date for the public is the 26th, when people can get in and start to rent books again. And there will be public tours starting on November the 10th, and they will run Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout November at 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, with 10 people allowed per tour. So we're really excited to open our new library. And also our arena. We're going to have a Rice-In on November the 3rd. And I'm excited to report that the weekday ice hours are pretty well booked. And we're finding that a number of bubble groups, we're calling them 20, 25 people, are really interested in renting ice time. So we think we're going to be okay with our arena, much better off than we had earlier anticipated, as we were making a decision as to whether or not to even open our arena. So as always, lots going on in Meaford. Our new nursing home, we discussed the zoning at council this past week. So moving that project forward, and anxious to see hopefully shoveling ground a year from now. So that's it for me on Meaford. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that, Councillor Keaveney, and let us know when that grand opening is, so maybe the warden I can attend.
Absolutely, we will.
Okay, then moving on then to the other sunny side of the county, Hanover.
Thank you, Warden. Good morning, County Council. I can't say it's sunny in Hanover today, but I'm going to have to say we're still living the dream. Our council held our council planning session this week, and included in that was our year in review. And despite COVID, our strategic plan is on target, with many of our initiatives completed or in the process of being completed. And it was very plain to see that staff have been working extremely hard. And in fact, I'd say their workload has almost doubled. And I expect that must be the same across all municipalities. So I think it's really important to recognize staff, whether it's a municipal level or county level, that they're going above and beyond with this COVID. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Mayor Patterson, and Deputy Warden and Councillor Hicks. Do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add. Her worship did a fabulous job as usual.
Very good. All right, so then we're going to move on to our next area of Grey Highlands. And Deputy Mayor, do you have, I'll maybe fill in, but I'll let you go first.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. We've got a groundbreaking coming up tomorrow for Sunfield Homes in the morning. It's actually a short walk for me. It's in the backyard across from me. So I'm looking forward to that. We've also started a phased reopening of our arenas. Fleshington opened first, and we're going to follow that up with the other 3 arenas at some point, again in a phased fashion. And last thing I'll say here is I think we need to recognize that we've all been in lockdown for a long time now, and I just came across this online, and I think it's important that there's probably people who are questioning whether they should continue being careful and socially distancing. So I just want them to know that their choice to give up their regular lifestyle and being careful and socially distancing could very well be the reason that someone somewhere is alive today, and that will always be worth it. So we've seen the news articles about our health unit and interviews with Dr. Era, where again one of the only, if not the only, health unit that hasn't had any COVID-related deaths. And I think our constituents deserve a round of applause and a kudos for that. And that's what I wanted to end with today. Thank you, Mr. Warden.
Well, thank you, Councillor Desai, and I think you covered much to move things along. I'll move on then to Georgian Bluffs and Deputy Mayor Carleton.
Good morning, everyone on council, and thank you, Mr. Warden. I have a few things to report. Shallow Lake Community Center had ice in September 16th, and minor hockey was back effective October 1st with their start, so things are going well there. Mr. Woodbury said Kemble non-motorized parade will not be running this year, which is kind of sad, but hopefully back next year. And for Councillor Desai, just an update at the airport. The Royal Canadian Air Force will be conducting a forward arming and refueling point exercise for RCAF CH-147F Chinook helicopter at Wyerton Airport from October 13th to November 6th. And finally, I'd like to commend Georgian Bluff staff, because with us going through a CAO recruitment and a director of operations, our staff have stepped up and done an awesome job of looking after everything. So we need to say a big thank you to all of them. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Deputy Mayor Carlton. And Councillor Thompson.
If I may, Mr. Warden, I want to say that's the best airport update we've ever received, and I think we need to let His Worship from Georgian Bluffs know about that.
Well, I'm sure he'll watch afterwards, or maybe he's watching now. Okay, thank you for that. Just quickly, Councillor Thompson, do you have anything to add? This is your first update to County Council.
No, I think I think Sue covered that perfectly, and I'll just try and fit in here and not make any big mistakes for you guys.
Oh, you'll do fine. Thank you for that. And municipality or township of Chatsworth, Scott, how's things there?
Thanks, Warden. Good morning, County Council. I was hoping Sue was going to, when she was reporting on the airport, was going to mention the plan of subdivision that they were maybe going to put in there, but she didn't do that. So anyways, Chatsworth, things are ticking along well. Our arena in Katy opened last week, and it is fully subscribed. The Desborough Arena is opening this weekend, and as far as I know, it's also fully subscribed. So things seem to be going along well with both arenas. And as Councillor Keaveney mentioned, you know, council had to decide whether to open one or two, and I'm glad we made the decision for two, because you know, both ice times have been all used up. So it's just an indication that people want to get out and about and, you know, be physically active. So that's certainly good to see. The Chatsworth Ag Society is having a drive-by event on Halloween from 2 to 4 at the former Chatsworth Arena in the parking lot, and that's in conjunction with the fire department. So they've reached out to the health unit and have all the safety protocols in place. And I'd just like to thank Councillor Boddy had mentioned it, but I just want to, you know, thank the health unit and Dr. Era for sending out the protocols so that our kids can go out and trick or treat in a safe fashion on Halloween. I think it's important for the kids to be able to get out and about, and I think that's it from the Township of Chatsworth. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Mackey, Mayor Mackey, and Councillor Gamble. Welcome back, and I don't know if you have anything to add.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. No, Scott pretty well got it all. Just one thing, we do have our drugstore opening. They say sometime in November. That's exciting for the village. We're looking forward to that. And the churches are opening up now on November 1st with protocol, mask and distancing and stuff. So that's it.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And I did open up, thanks County Council for all those updates on good news and celebrations. And I did open up your attachment there, Councillor Potter, with the cartoon, and it's interesting. It shows the color of gray as gray. And
it was pointed out to me, Warden, that Gray and Bruce were all together. I hope our friends in Bruce won't be offended by that.
Oh.
I'm sure that was just artistic license.
Oh yes, well, we get along very well with Bruce County, so that's good. Thank you for that. And just before we end good news and celebrations, I'm going to pass over to our CAO for some extra good news and celebrations. Madam CAO.
Thanks very much, Mr. Warden. Council, I wanted to ask that you join me in recognizing today. It's the 20th anniversary of Child Care Worker and Early Educator Appreciation Day. Child care workers play an incredibly valuable role shaping young minds and helping our kids develop and learn the skills they need to be successful in school. They're also critical to our local economy. We truly appreciate the important job they do, and I want to thank them for their commitment to our young people. I'd also like to recognize Ashley and Tara are two managers in social services that are responsible for the child care file and the wonderful work that they do. This year has been a challenging one for a number of sectors, and childhood education is no exception. These folks have been incredibly accommodating to the ongoing changes in regulations and are doing their best to follow guidelines, including all kinds of cleaning and PPE use. This year, more than ever, I think it's important that we acknowledge the job they're doing and thank them for the love and the care they provide to the children across Grey. So thank you.
Okay, well, and yeah, a little applause out there. And thanks for bringing that forward, Madam CEO. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our agenda, and I do have an adjournment moved by Councillor Desai and Councillor Patterson. I guess there's nobody opposed to that, so that is carried. So we'll move on.